welcome back to virsivlog. This is our episode 3, and I'm so excited today to introduce you guys to John Boyd of Redstory. So if you guys don't know about Redstory, it's a really cool story, and I want to introduce John to kind of get into what it's about, and we'll get into later, but pre-COVID, you guys were a very new company, and I'd love to hear about what the initial idea of Redstory is prior to the pandemic.
Hey Debbie. Well, yeah, it's a little bit of a different story. We actually launched on March 2nd, and then it was the very next day that in our area they announced the first case of COVID, and so we were celebrating one day and then pivoting the next. Redstory is a brand experience agency. We focus on creating unique brands or experiences for brands, artists, and communities as well. So we work with a lot of different nonprofits. We do stuff with medical and then also in entertainment with different artists as well. And really look at the whole experience on how our clients interact with their customers or their fans, and how we can create unique experiences for them and to engage with them as well.
Alexa, turn the lights on.
Okay.
Yeah, the main purpose was live interaction. And
Correct.
explain to me a little bit more in depth about how you guys envisioned live interaction to look like with your clients.
Well, everyone involved in the company has got a lot of experience in this area before we even started. My background was primarily in the entertainment industry, worked with a lot of different artists on tours and live brand activations. So it was people face to face with people. So obviously we can't meet face to face. It's pretty tough, right? But we believe that as humans, we still want to interact with other humans. With every unique dilemma, there is unique opportunities. And so what we found is that, I don't know about you, but I was receiving multiple emails every day, and they were either one of two things. It was either one, check out our streaming device and the way that we can stream your content. The second was, please sign this petition to help save our industry. And I got those emails just constantly. And we really talked about it internally, and we thought, well, streaming is just not the solution. And then also, yes, we need to help those that are in need, that have been really affected by this, absolutely. But how we could really help people in the industry is coming up with unique ideas that are going to help the industry grow and not just stand and watch it be completely decimated. And so it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of interesting ideas and time to be able to come up with a unique idea.
So how has it changed? So you guys worked on this idea for a long time, launched, your live interaction kind of went away. What was that like when you kind of went back into that room and said, how are we going to move forward? And what was that conclusion? What did you guys come up with?
Well, first of all, we saw that everyone reacted instantly and canceled all their events for the year, right? It's like cancel. So we didn't want to react. We wanted to take some time so that we could actually respond appropriately. So we actually took a month or so where we didn't really do a whole lot except gather data, see what is going on, and where do we think we'll be in about 6 months, um, and then create a plan that actually responds to that, rather than just like react and just throw stuff out there. And so what we've been working on is hybrid events, where there is a virtual component to it, but really trying to come up with some form of in-person interactive experience that participants can have. And that looks really different for each client. Now we're in a space where people can and are meeting in small groups. And so what can we do for a small group of people? We used to measure our events, the success of an event, when say you put on an event, right? And people say, tell me about your event. Was it successful? And we'll go, yeah, it was great. We had 500 people. We had 3,000 people. And the first thing we go to measure the success of an in-person event is attendance. But just because we have a whole lot of people attending does not mean that the event was actually successful. Unless the goal of the client was, I want to sell 3,000 tickets. It's like, okay, great. Well, we sold 3,000 tickets, but and they achieved your goal. But I think for most people, their goals are actually to engage with people and actually either have people take an action. And so it hasn't changed really. I think that attendance was actually a false metric for in-person events. And so we've carried that same metric over to, well, a lot of people are still measuring virtual events, unfortunately, the same way. We had 3,000 people watch our live stream. Awesome. What does that mean? I mean, did they do anything? Do those 3,000 people actually take an action? How do you know that they were engaged if they're not actually producing an action after participating in your event?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So we think and are looking at engagement as actually not participation. Engagement is actually should be measured by an action that precedes the event.
Are you guys measuring these actions, or is that up to your client to kind of bring that back to you? So how do you integrate this engagement and action into really finding out how engaged they were?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we've got clients that do have action items that they want to see happen post-event. And so we make sure that any branding and creation we do for the event meets those action items. We have some clients that did not have any action items. They were focused solely on attendance or participation. And as we took them through our process, we helped them create those action items. For us, it's really important to look at the data. We follow a 4-step process, which is data science, behavioral science, spatial design, and then experience design. And we take our client through all 4 stages of that, which really comes to the last one, which is the experience design portion. So yeah, it is a unique process, and it does push people to think a little bit more other than attendance. But when they see those results achieved, it's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I think, we're finding out in this virtual space that, people's ideas and feelings and reach are way different than we all expected. And entering this virtual space, what are some things that you may not have expected?
I think one of the big ones is how resistant people are too virtual, because you would think that people are on their device a lot anyway. So, hey, it's not so much of a big shift anyway. You're just now having a meeting on the same device. But people want human connection. I think coupled with the fact that a lot of people, especially at the beginning, were at home. A lot of people were at home by themselves or with the family, and there was a great sense of loss. So it always make me laugh when someone, I get an email and it's like, hey, guess what? Our conference this year is going virtual. Like it's this really fun, exciting announcement. But what you're going to take into consideration is the first response that people are going to have is, well, I remember last year at that conference when it was in Orlando and I went to the beach and I connected with so-and-so and we did this. And so this great announcement of it being virtual, most people are looking at that and they're having a sense of loss because of what it used to be the year before. They're not excited.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just literally happened to me today. I was in a different city last year at a conference, and it was like one of my first ones that I was actually able to go to. And this day, a year later, it was virtual, and there was technical difficulties, and it wasn't as engaging. And I was literally doing two at the same time, and you just get this sense, like you said, a sense of loss.
Yeah.
So are you guys actively looking for live events right now, and how successful is that? And are you going to all stay in the virtual lane? I mean, are you just going to kind of stay doing whatever comes?
No, we're going to create something new. It's a lot, and it's really hard. But I think that we're looking ahead, and we're looking where we are, and it's constantly juggling between the two. Yes, there are restrictions on us right now, and so if someone wants to do something right now, we will meet the need based on what we can do right now. But we're not going to say, well, that's the be all and end all for the next 6 months. We will plan accordingly for the future, and then we can make tweaks as we go. But I think the unique thing with creating content, and even like this Zoom call right now, right? I'm sitting in my office, and there's, if people walk past, they're like, what is he doing? He's talking to this screen. And people watching this are sitting in front of a screen as well, and they're watching this conversation between us. This is not how these screens were originally what they were designed for. When we watch content on a computer screen or on a TV, the content is really different. The content is designed to not reach the masses. It's designed to reach one person. So you think about it, when you're at home, we'll go home tonight and turn on the TV and put on Netflix or Amazon or whatever it is, whatever streaming service you use, and we watch a movie. And in that movie, it's about one person, the hero. And that hero has guides or people around them that help them achieve their goal. And we identify as one person watching that one person achieve their goal. It's designed, a film, a story, a TV series is written to engage one person at a time. So then the problem is that we're creating content for these screens in the virtual world where we're not trying to reach one person at a time. We're trying to go back to our old model, and we're trying to reach 3,000 at a time, 500 people at a time. And these virtual conferences are designed to look like as if you were really there, but you're not really there. You're watching it on a screen. Virtual events should be, and hybrid events should be created to engage one person at a time, to make them feel like they identify with the hero on the screen. And it's a really different way of creating the content.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I come from a video, television, film, radio background.
Right,
What I did for a very long time, I went to college for that. That's all I ever wanted to do. And also getting into events, I mean, that was actually a hard transition for me to go from the trying to reach the one to trying to reach masses. And now really coming back and trying to figure out how that really integrates together
yeah,
in events, because live events, I mean, it's not about watching something, it's about the feeling you get. I mean, I remember being at PCMA in January, and Sinek was up and speaking. Now I watch him on LinkedIn, I'll watch his videos, he's very energetic, but not once have I cried at one of his videos. But man, him in person speaking, even with 7,000 people around me, I was in tears from what he was,
right.
because it touched me. I mean, he wasn't just talking to me, but it was the emotion I felt from everyone around me as well. So
Right.
creating that in a screen is just very different and difficult.
Yeah, I mean, when you're there with 7,000 people watching him, you're all right there having the same joint experience watching him, and you can see those people around you. Like right now, there could be 7,000 people watching this.
Be
Okay?
great if there
Right? It
were.
would be great. But we have no idea. There is no shared experience happening at all.
You have kind of been in this space, and I know your partner as well, Michael. Know
Yep.
him a lot better. But so this entrepreneur journey, or starting this, you have any advice for someone starting out as myself on this journey on kind of how to keep myself sane, or you just like any advice to give to starting out entrepreneurs?
I would say you really have to believe in what you're doing. And you have to find other people that are like-minded, which can be really hard because when you start something new and it's really exciting and fun, and then after maybe like a month, you start to think, am I crazy? Like, am I the only one who's seeing this and I feel like a crazy person for trying to do this? And so it's in those times that you want to have someone that you can go to who can uh, say you're not crazy. And so my business partner Michael, we have those days where he's like, what are we doing? This is like crazy, and I'm like, yeah, and it's going to be great, and then vice versa. It flips the next day. So to have those people are great. I think it's also really good to have whatever the goal is that you're trying to achieve, to have it on the forefront of your mind and like stick it to your computer, or on our wall here I've got our core values. And so I look at those every day, which reminds myself, okay, this is why I'm doing this. These are the 5 things that are top of mind for me, that I filter all information every day. And it's having it visual. So keep it, your goals or your core values in front of you every single day. And that'll help you not to lose sight of what you're setting out to do.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. This has been a great interview. I think, a lot of people are going to learn a lot from the transition in really engaging, moving towards a future on engagement, not in attendance, which seems to be really the most important. I always go back to, what's the why? Why are we doing this? So
Yeah,
just making sure that we're doing all of this for a purpose. Don't just throw it out there because, you got to be present, and you got to make sure.
absolutely.
Why are we all doing this? So I really appreciate it. I'm going to put on this screen how to contact you guys, any, website, visuals, anything, to really direct people to Redstory. I appreciate your time today, and tune in next week for another virsivlog.